One of the things I wanted to mention with networking, so this is kind of great opportunities networking that we're talking about for something besides your career, and it's almost a good way to practice because you're not so worried about the underlying thought of, oh, if I impress them in this first email, will I get a job from them? You're not even looking for a job. You're looking for possibly someone who may be interested as a speaker. Lara went up and talked to the girl yesterday who was a BU alum. Hey, would you possibly be interested in coming up to talk at BU at some point next semester? We may be having events. We're not even going to be there, but we know they may be having events that they may want to reach out to her for, and we have some officers here who have taken down her contact information, and if she's an appropriate fit, maybe someone they can reach out to. Or like Hannah Seligman's talk, following up with her, whether we want to invite Hannah to talk at one of our events, or maybe we want to talk to Hannah about how we can put together our own networking workshop, stuff like that. So really, or even Kafilat mentioned she works at Coach right now, and there's a bunch of people who are current Coach interns from BU or BU alumni also. So she's thinking about, these are people I could possibly reach out to. So just always constantly building that network almost in your head of people that may be good resources for you in the future in terms of 85 Broads.
Another great way to do that is to, actually this is something we did in the beginning, we read through every profile of every member in the BU network. And there were about 120, I think, when we started, between alumni and undergrads. But it was so helpful to understand, who are these women? What do we already have right here? We already have a phenomenal group, even just within our school. And then we also went out and said, well, let's just look elsewhere on the network. And so I started looking through the other local schools, MIT and Harvard, like who else is out there even in our area. And that's also how we found a group called Emerge. And that was founded by a girl at MIT who now goes over to Sri Lanka and helps girls to have the tools to create jewelry, and then they sell it back here. And these are girls that have been abandoned by their families or just have faced a lot of hardship. And so we actually had them come to our conference later in the year and built a partnership with them. So there's so many opportunities just on this website, just reading through everything and being willing to send them a cold message through the network and say, we're interested in what you're doing. Can we just talk to you and see if there are any possibilities of partnering up?
Any questions?
Yeah, well, do you guys have any questions on that before we continue through our year? Or?
Yep.
Yeah.
Do you see your chapter as forming, like, in terms of purpose, being more community-oriented or, like, service-oriented? As in, like, do you see yourself as providing a community for women on campus to sort of support each other, or do you see your chapter as being more focused on providing a service for the women on campus who are interested in career expansion, whatever?
I think it's a mixture between, let's say, having a speaker come in and providing that service, but then afterward, there's that time to network and build community and talk with each other. But so I think so far it has been that mix.
I think ours has been very, like, almost evenly divided. But again, that's kind of the point I wanted to make about BU. At BU, we have similar to NYU, but where it's just a bunch of buildings pretty much if you're not from there. So there's really a struggle to connect across the different schools, and specifically to let girls know from arts and sciences. And I'm really excited that we have a couple people from outside the management school here that we've made that point, because we are an interdisciplinary group now, and we want to bridge those gaps and bring people together. So that's the community side, and then we've also tried to provide a lot of events and in a way build community through offering those services, I guess. But really depending on your school and sitting down at your early meetings in the year and say, what do you girls want? Do you want resume workshops? Do you want speakers? Do you want speakers on getting into careers in different industries, or do you want speakers on information systems for women to bring girls in technology together? So, and if, once you get comfortable with each other, you'll hear that from them, because people, they do know what they want, and they do have ideas for the kind of events that would be best fit for your school. So I think that's the great thing about really catering it to your chapter. Yep.
When you held these events, how did you get the funding for it? Did you get it from BU or for 85 Broads, or any fundraising?
It was a mixture. We actually did go to the student governments, because we have about 10 schools at BU, I think. So we actually went in, and I just filled out a form and went to one of their meetings and pitched it to them and said, here's this event we have, here's why it's exciting, here's why you should invest in us. And then well, fortunately it did go through in the student governments, but that was definitely a way that we raised funding. We also did go through 85 broads for part of it. I believe they did 200 for each club, if I'm correct.
Yeah, they offered some special, like, they had some competitions going this semester for membership building and some other stuff. So we were able to get involved. So that's like on an individual level. And
we also did look through, corporate sponsorships. But a number of them, we were new to it, so we didn't know that it takes about 2 months, I think. For some of the large ones, I think Pepsi said it was like 2 months. So that is something to research as early in the year as possible, so you can start making those relationships. But that is something we looked at also, even local stores too. So.
And I like to make the point that your schools do have money. It's not just going to come to you. We initially, I think, got funded for some portion, which when we decided to do our spring event that you guys saw in the video earlier, was not enough, and that's when we started to look into these other options. And we did have to go to, now it wasn't just the BU fund, I guess we're going to specific schools, the School of Arts and Sciences, School of Management, and go further and really dig into where can we go for money, find those applications, go to their consortium meetings and stand up and say, this is our event, we're really excited about it, we have 30 girls behind us, they're interested, you have to sell it because the school has a lot of people asking for money and they want to know why you should get it. So the money's there, look for it, and then you'll have your funding. Another questions?
Something we should also discuss more, I guess, is the personal finance conference and how that came about. That was something that, because we were so new, we really wanted to bring something to people that could communicate across all of the different disciplines. So we want to say, what is something that everyone at this university needs? We all need to know how to manage our money. And even in our business school, we don't have a class on personal finance. So we said, here's really something that we can pitch to everyone, and we think everyone will come. So finding something, if you do want to be that general, is a great way to bring people in the beginning and really create some value and a good model for the next year also. So we did that, and the structure of it was that in the morning we had a keynote speaker who was from an investment firm, but then actually discussed more about her life and the fascinating stories that she had. Actually, her name was Sheila Kavanaugh, and she's in the book if you want to read her stories. And then we also did workshops, with one on budgeting, one on investing, and the group just split in half, went between both, and then we did lunch and networking, and we also left a little time at the end of the day for people to talk as well, and breakfast in the morning. So there was a lot of time to talk to everyone, get to meet everyone, and also to learn about how to manage your money. So. And
if you're looking at planning a larger scale event, it becomes, you really do have to meet regularly, and there's tons of emails, like every day, you have a bunch of different things to address, even down to things like your little goodie bags that you get when you leave Bloomberg. Well, we're running a big conference. We also realize that we have to give out goodie bags, putting together the programs, getting them printed, just, tons of logistics, booking the rooms way in advance. Probably depends on the school, but at BU things get booked up very far out. So booking the rooms, finding, the projectors. One thing, maybe actually things just come up. Once we got really close, I think like that week before, we realized that the speakers wanted clickers because, you see, they want to be able to walk around the stage and just click, not have to stand here at the computer. So many little things to think about, and that's why it's really important to have regular meetings and really delegate. We actually had our programs person wound up reaching out to our members and asking. She picked up 3 girls to join our events committee, and Miriam's one of them. She's here today, and they were really helpful. So Sylvia was then able to further delegate her projects for the actual events planning down to those girls. So, building up our team and delegating all the tasks. Do we have time for one last question?
One last question?